Good morning, Facebook family and YouTube subscribers. Today is Wednesday, October 29th. October is just about over. October 29th, 2014. All right, so Charles Barkley made some comments. I'm going to read them to you. He was on a radio station in Philadelphia. Charles Barkley called blacks unintelligent and brainwashed to keep successful black men down. NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley spoke candidly about the problems facing the black community when appearing on a Philadelphia radio station, accusing unintelligent and brainwashed African Americans of keeping successful ones down. While appearing on Afternoons with Anthony Gargano and Rob Ellis, Barkley was asked about a rumor that the Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson was getting criticism from his black teammates for not being black enough. Barkley went on a long monologue on the subject. Unfortunately, this is what he said, "Unfortunately, as I tell my white friends, we as black people, we're never going to be successful, not because of you white people, but because of other black people. When you're black, you have to deal with so much crap in your life from other black people. It's a dirty, dark secret. I'm glad it's coming out." Barkley said that young black men who do well in school are accused of acting white by their peers. One of the reasons we're never going to be successful as a whole because of other black people. And for some reason, we are brainwashed to think if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough. If you go to school, make good grades, speak intelligent, and don't break the law, you're not a good black person. And it's a dirty, dark secret. There are a lot of black people who are unintelligent, who don't have success. He continued, "It's best to knock a successful black person down because they're intelligent, they speak well, they do well in school, and they're successful. We're the only ethnic group who says, hey, if you go to jail, it gives you street cred. It's just typical bullshit that goes on when you're a black man." All right, so I did video after video and video after video about this whole experience as an African American man in the black community. Growing up as an African, I grew up in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana was at one point a very beautiful city. You go through there today, there's nothing there. I grew up going to public schools in Gary, Indiana, and I learned something growing up in Gary. Gary had an outstanding schools program for African Americans who lived in the city of Gary. One of the best in the nation. I went to attended schools in Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, Mississippi, and nothing could touch what my experiences in grade school and elementary and high school that I had in Gary, Indiana. I graduated high school in Cincinnati, Ohio, which was Cincinnati is a completely different world than when I went to school in Gary. Not to say that I didn't have issues in Gary's school system. There were some issues, but nothing nowhere near the type of issues I encountered in Michigan and in Cincinnati, Ohio. I met black people who despised education. They didn't like it. And they didn't like the fact that I was in school, striving, wanting, loving to read books, embracing education. And black kids didn't like that. And I had to separate myself from them because I didn't come from this environment. In Gary, Indiana, people went to school to learn. The teachers were there to teach you. In Cincinnati, Ohio, that was not the case. The teachers weren't even there to teach you. The teachers were there just to get a paycheck. So it was a different world, different environment. But I noticed everything that Charles Barkley said is correct. For the first time in my entire life, when I was in Gary, Indiana, I must admit that I left Gary, Indiana before I made it to high school. But in Cincinnati, Ohio, I was fine. I was being called white. I was acting white. I thought I was white. And I'm thinking, what is this coming from? Where is this ignorance coming from? A lot of people may not understand this, but Cincinnati, Ohio is considered a part of the South. That's part of the southern part of the USA. Right there, Kentucky is considered part of the South. So those African Americans who live there, it can be a horrible place for African Americans, especially children who are in school. There's a sense of a community that embraces ignorance. And when I got to Atlanta, Georgia, it was wide open. Black folks down here, they come from all over the United States. All over the United States. They're going to Morehouse, Spelman, No, it doesn't matter. Black folks chase after ignorance, and I've never understood it in my entire life. We choose to live our lives ignorantly. Why? I have no clue. Everything Charles Barkley said was correct. See, a lot of people don't want to hear that truth. I'm on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm here to read all these comments. People are upset, people are mad, because they don't want to hear what Bill Cosby has to say, Don Lemon has to say, Charles Barkley. And these people are accurate. They're 1,000,000% correct. At some point in time, we as African Americans have to be responsible for our journey here in America. Yeah, we know what took place 100 years ago, 15 years, 25, 30, 40, 50 years ago. We know what happened then. But now, I think we're a little bit more control of our communities, I think. But there's a certain level, there's a certain group of us, and it's a large group, it's not a small group. Some of these people are college educated, but they embrace that ignorance. And they not only do they embrace it, they live their lives. Everybody got to be a thug. We don't want to use proper English and speak American English, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Somebody criticized me for something I said in the video. I'm like, okay, whatever. But we don't want to be seen as intelligent, smart people, and it's hurting us. It's hurting our children. It's hurting our opportunities. I was shocked. A few years ago, I went on some job interviews when I was looking for a job. And the way those kids, the way they showed up for these job interviews, I was thinking, how can you, these were black folks, you don't know how to dress for a job interview? You don't know how to dress and present yourself? You're asking for a job. Every job interview I went in, people begged me, oh my God, please come stay, work with us. But I couldn't work around all that ignorance. I tried it. The people were just too ignorant. The customers, the people, I was like, this is just, I don't deal very well in ignorant environments filled with ignorant people because it's just too much. And when you're in a retail environment, which was one of the jobs I went after, thinking it would be fun to get out into these stores was a nightmare. When black folks came to there, it was so ignorant. The workers, the people who worked there, so ignorant. It just was depressing and sad. Because this is 2014. This is the dream that our ancestors, we should be living the dream, and you can live the dream that our ancestors dreamed about. We're free to do whatever we want. You can have success or not have success. It's up to you. But if you can read, write, and get have a sense of intelligence in your head, you can achieve a lot today. But so many of us are choosing not to achieve a lot. We're so caught up in material foolishness. I'm not about to stand in line for no iPhone and no Nikes. I don't give a damn if they're giving them away for free. It's not worth it to me. But these items are not free. They cost $100, and we're standing in line all night long, but won't go vote. All that mess that took place in Ferguson could have been avoided had the black folks got up off their behinds, registered to vote, and ran for office. They live in there, thousands of them. City was 60 or 70% black, but they didn't get up and go vote or run for office. They didn't see a need for it. But I bet you if we were to go back and look at those Foot Lockers when they were releasing those Air Jordans, we'd see how many hundreds of people showed up for that mess. There's a disconnect with us as African Americans. And that has to change. We've got to start embracing intelligence. We've got to start pushing our children to be smart, not thugs. My two sisters, said they wanted thugs for children. We want thugs. I'm thinking, are you serious? What mother in their right mind would say they want a thug for a child? You want your boys to be thugs. They got those thugs they wanted too. One of my sister's story, I smoked weed when I was in high school. It's okay to smoke weed. This is what my sister told her kids, that it's okay to go out there. So now they just smoke weed from sun up to sundown. How could a parent embrace this culture of using drugs and tell your kids, go ahead and do it? It's fine. We embrace ignorance. We embrace it. Turn on the arrows. Right. Housewives of Atlanta, Black America's #1 show. I can't even watch an episode. I cannot watch that mess. I can't watch any of this mess. Reality TV, hip hop Atlanta, or whatever. I can't watch that mess. It's so ignorant. It's filled with ignorance. But black folks race home and watch it. record it, they love it. I can't watch that mess. And I know some white folks do it too, but they have with the white folks. They got their act together. We the ones that are suffering over here. I can't deal with ignorance. I've never liked ignorance. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the most perfect person, because Walter has made a whole hell of a lot of mistakes in his life. But I woke up and said, I'm not going down that path no more. I cannot go down that path because it's filled with despair and craziness and ignorance. I have to walk away from that. Black Americans are going to have to walk away from ignorance. We've got to stop embracing the culture of ignorance and unintelligence that Charles Barkley was speaking about. He spoke the truth. But we don't want to hear it because it's too painful to hear. So everybody's going to attack Charles Barkley. But Charles Barkley spoke the truth. He was not lying. He was being honest. And sometimes in our community, we don't like honesty for some reason. We do not like the truth. We have a difficult time struggling with it. Because it's as if somebody held up a mirror and we looked at it and said, oh my God, we don't like what we see. What Charles Barkley said was true. What Bill Cosby's been saying for years, true. But so many people are going to criticize and tear them apart, and it's already started, and it's going to continue. I don't know what to say about African Americans in our journey here in America and where we're going. Because until we sit down and really take a look at the path that we're walking down, nothing is going to change in Black America. We're going to be still stuck with these same issues. I knew years and years ago, I didn't want any children. I didn't want my children to have to go through what Charles Barkley's talking about. I didn't want them to have the same experiences that I had. I'm just speaking for Walter. I didn't want any children because for this specific reason. Because I didn't want my black children to have to go through sheer hell. Unless things change in Black America, a lot of children are going to be stuck walking down that path because of peer pressure. They're forced to join that culture of ignorance because they want to fit in and be normal. That's how I ended up being a convicted felon. I wanted to fit in and be normal. So I ran with a large group of people doing some stupid shit. And I ended up going to prison because of it years ago. So I learned something from that experience. Sometimes you just have to distance yourself from these people and their foolishness and not get involved in that culture of ignorance. The drugs, the dope, the rap music, it's all just, but some people, everybody has to find this out on their own. And a lot of African Americans will never break free from that cycle of ignorance and despair. Generation after generation after generation are going to be born, raised, and live their lives in this culture of ignorance. It's not going to change. People have to want change. I wanted change for my life. Back again, we can go on about this topic forever. 4 more months from now, somebody else is going to say something about black folks, and then it's going to rock. What did they say? And people are going to be upset and mad again, going back and forth. Charles Barkley didn't lie. He spoke the truth. If you like my videos, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Share my videos with family members and friends. Love to hear what you all have to say about Charles Barkley. Did you think he spoke the truth? Was he being honest? Did you think he was exaggerating? Personally, like I said, from my own experiences, I've dealt with thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the years. College-educated people. People in my own family members, friends. And unfortunately, Charles Barkley, he spoke the truth. He was being very honest. And I admire him for that. I'm not saying he's a perfect person either, but he definitely spoke the truth with what he said on that radio station in Philadelphia. Anyway, I'm out of here. Enjoy your Wednesday. It's wet and rainy here. And you're going to have a night. Look forward to your comments. Don't forget, please subscribe to my channel and share my videos with family members and friends. And thank you all for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm out. Bye.